Test, 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 test. It's a little weird. Test, test. Wow, somebody just popped right on there. Were you waiting like under videos and then kept refreshing it? Because that's a good way to be first. Yeah, what's crazy is um at 6 o'clock, right? I was wide awake at 6, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be on time. I mean, no doubt, right? Then I started falling asleep, and then like the next thing I know, it's like 6:38 or something like that, right? And then uh, I'm like, okay, okay, so I'm good. And then Sasquatch calls me at 6:54, and I'm like, oh, okay, I think that I'm gonna make it. I think I'm gonna make it this time. But you know what? Like, it seemed like everyone was like okay with me being like later in the day. Just we gotta like make it to where everybody knows, like when it is. It can't be like some kind of surprise every morning because that's unfair, especially if people are waiting for the show. So hello, Cindy. Hello, Debbie. Hello, or Deb. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'll just call you what you put on your thing. Hey, cool dude. Hey, Sheila. And Clutch. The bearless Clutch right there. Hello, Tanya. Yes, yes, yes. Is that everybody? Cool dude. What's up, cool dude? I keep thinking, right? With everybody changing their names all the time, right? I keep thinking cool dude is TH, right? Truth hurts, right? Or am I wrong? What's up, Amanda? How are you doing this morning? Cool dude, aka Truth Hurts. That's it. Well, see, you left a message the other day, right? Hey, Faith. Yeah. Um, cool dude, you left a message. Hey, what's up, Joel? You left a message the other day. I can't remember what it said. Something like, "Oh yeah, you said it. Yeah, I watched your stream. I gave you a like. Blah blah blah." But I thought you were one of. At that moment, I thought you were uh, somebody from the other chat or whatever that has escaped our troll, right, and made it over here, right. And so um but then like I don't know, a little bit later, because you were like something else, like something in the shadows, light in the shadows or something. But with all these name changes, with Faith it's easy because it's always some kind of variation of the same channel. But I'm glad to see you, Truth Hurts. I'm glad to see you. Uncool paranoia, what's up? Well, I mean, that's kind of part of it, right? Like being a truther, right? Sometimes there is a little bit of that paranoia feeling when you first start, for sure. Like you're like, wow, is everything really like this? Like I even got to the point where, hey AJM, I even got to the point where I was like, um, considering the fact that like, wow, am I the only person in the world? Like it got to that level. I'm like, am I, is everyone tripping and I'm the only, is this whole thing for me? Like it really got to that. Oh man, here's the calls, man. Hold on, guys. I have to put on I have to put on do not disturb. Hold on a second. There's no doubt I have to do it. I hope that it doesn't. Okay, am I still on? Yeah, because there's no way I could have kept going without doing that, because that's one of the ways they troll the worst, because it takes away I mean it just destroys me to when they do it that way. And so I have to put on the do not disturb so I can't call or text while I'm doing my thing. That's why when what's his name was saying, oh yeah, I was giving him Skype messages in the background or whatever, letting him know what to do. that was such horse crap because I can't get Skype messages while I'm streaming live with that. I can't. And so that really bothered me. That really bothered me. Because it's like when someone's lying about you a little bit, like let's say somebody's a little bit off, like they got something wrong, then you could probably talk to them and they would be reasonable and you could clear it up, right? But when people are just like way wrong and like the intention is to hurt you, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything. They don't even want to be reasonable. And like we're running into a lot of behavior, right? Where you know, like we were saying yesterday, right? There's people that they can't apologize, right, for anything, right? Like even when it's like something simple, it's like, you know, even if you do something, just a small thing wrong, just to say I made a mistake and I'm sorry about that. I mean, that shows so much about a person's character, right? Or even not even sorry, just like, like, hey, I made a mistake and I'm gonna try to be better. Even something like that shows character. But to like dig in, right? And there's just so many people out there, right? And this is kind of like how I know, right? Like sometimes, if I'm dealing with somebody that's a real person or not. Like the ability to say that they're wrong. Or it's we're getting to that point. We're getting to that point. And yeah, even just the ability to say that they're wrong. Or like say like when we find out a truth, right? And we both know it's true, right? But they just can't admit that it's true, just because it hurts them too much to admit it. And then we're stuck in a situation where I know it's true, you know it's true, but you can't admit it. And now we're stuck, right? Where you're gonna come every day and test me if I know or not. And oh man, what a waste of time that is. Just what a waste of time. And so anyway, yeah, be good to each other. And here's the thing, right? Like we have each other in this group, right? This small group, right? Where um at least we know, right? Like this is a channel about Jesus, right? This is a channel for Christians and a channel for people to become Christians, right? And I'm okay with people coming to the chat that aren't believers, right? I'm cool with that. That's okay for me. And I think that'd be okay with Jesus too. But I would want that person to have a desire, right? To be like the group, right? Or to accept the truth, right? Or to learn more, right? And then at least be on some kind of progress, right? But just for like, somebody that's not like like not considering being a Christian, just want to hang around and like, hey, I accept people for their beliefs, right? That's great. And you want to stop in and say hi, that's great. But I got to think about the rest of the group. And it's getting to the point now, right, where if you dig in the truth, right, long enough, if you go down these rabbit holes and you dig long enough, you will eventually end up either you'll go past Christianity and the Bible and you'll come back around, right? Or you'll just find the Bible and dig in there, right? Like it's not hard, right? Once and see, this is the crazy part is you, normally you don't say, hey, read the thing to prove the thing, right? But like this is a case where that's true, right? You got to read the Bible, right? And then you can see it come to life. You can see everything making sense. If you picture it, it just fits everything, right? And it's hard, right? I get it. For some people, it's really hard and it takes a long time, right? I mean, for me, it was quick, right? Because I needed God at that moment, right? Like it was a relief, to finally get to where, okay, I know that God exists, and I know, you know, uh, the right way. I've dug into all this stuff, right? I went beyond. I even like went beyond Christianity. Like, okay, well, I've disproven that, right? But there's a way to like disprove the Christianity that they present in the world, and that's just basically Satanism. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's two separate things. It's almost like Ball Earth and regular Earth. Like regular Christianity from the Bible, like if you read the Bible and believe in the Bible, it's different than what the image of God you get in the mainstream, right? And so a lot of times people will use that as a straw man, like, oh yeah, well, this is what it is in the mainstream, this image of, what it is. And so it's possible to go beyond it and then have to come back around like I did. But you run into a lot of people, right, that are um just really committed, and really they have a lot of emotion behind wanting to prove it wrong, and see, like, if you start out with not wanting it to be true, right? If you start out with a desire, right? You'll find all these little reasons, right? There's millions of them, right? And get stuck along the way on each one, You got to open up your mind to scrutinize the opposite way. I mean, the Bible is the most scrutinized book in the world. And that should tell you something, that it's been scrutinized since, so probably since we've had it. And when we turn the scrutiny around, right, like on our science books and our history books, they fall apart. These things fall apart, like, and not even really with that much effort, really. Well, and see, like I get it. I get that it taking a long time to accept like the flat Earth. I get it, because yeah, and I don't blame people either. I don't blame people either. But this is where we're at. Uncool Paranoia is that I'm in a position, right, where yeah, I want to give people as much time as they need, of course, right, to be sensitive, right. But at the same time, right, we're the clock is running out, right. And I'm getting a little antsy, right? Where like I can feel the time. We're one day closer. Instead of have another day, waking up and having another day, it's waking up and we're one day closer to the end. Like, not the end of the world, right? Obviously, because it's the revealing of Jesus, and then we carry on. But the end for some people. And we have to get I know this, right? Like, we're not going to get 100 people through here by the time I don't, like, I would love for that to happen, right? I would love for thousands of people to get saved in one day, right? But the reality is that there's a few of us out there, like very few probably, and we got to get them, and we got to get them over the fence. And yeah, I know Jesus does all that work, right? God does all that work, right? Creates the desire and the new believer and all that, but just being there for them and letting them know, how close we are. So, the 144,000 taken literally for seeing that they're stealing, and the following the Lamb 7 chapters later, two witnesses like, yeah, I mean, the two witnesses are next. And then it's going to be the revealing of the beast and mark of the beast, but in close succession. Yeah, closer to the end, but like, not the end, right? Just the revealing of Jesus, right? Everyone has this end of the world, because that's what the world puts out. Oh, that's what Revelation is, the end of the world. It's not. I mean, we're gonna have another 1,000 years here and then move on from there. Like, so, I guess the better term would be the revealing of Jesus, and then we move on, uh, without people with rebellious spirits, right? I mean, people that have accepted the gift, right? Um, a gift of grace from Jesus and his sacrifice. I mean, it's sad because I'll watch TV, right? I don't watch TV, but like I'll watch a clip or something and see like a celebrity, right? And I know that, my behavior might be better than theirs, right? But that person, I'm not better than that person, and that person is probably not gonna make it, and that's hard for me. That's, oh, hey BB, how you doing? And so, that's hard for me. I want everybody to make it. I'm one of those people. Probably it's a character flaw in myself that I hang on to people too long sometimes, and hope that they'll change, and um, you know, all that stuff, right? But I've been out there, right? Like, I hang out in some places where it's not Christian places, where like I'm just talking to people and saying, hey, I just want to let you know about Jesus, and you're welcome to come to my channel. It's 7 in the morning or whatever, and some people are offended by that, saying, "Why are you judging me?" And I didn't judge anybody. I just told people the way it is, and I didn't say anything about their character or who they are or anything. I'm just letting them know so that they can make a decision. If you want it, this is what the truth is, and if you don't want it, it would make me feel better if you would just acknowledge that it's true, so that you could choose the opposite way, and then, I'll wish you luck, and they'll leave. But what ends up happening is they'll say, well, I just don't believe it or something. And it makes me feel like I got to prove it, right? Before I leave that person, and that is so tough, right? That is so tough, right? Because I don't want to, if somebody doesn't want it, I don't want to sit there and try to convince somebody, And yeah, I mean, if somebody wanted to be reasonable, right? I could probably sit down with them and almost prove God in 2 hours, Like, I mean, if someone wants to be reasonable about things that are true and not true in this world. But the problem is we run into a lot of things along the way that are obviously not true, but that we have beliefs, deep rooted beliefs in, all the way up to there was a time when people believed that um, if you went outside and it was cold, you would get sick. You know what I mean? Right? So, like, there's still people that say that grab a coat, you're going to get sick, catch a cold, right? So, beliefs can be very deep rooted to the point where it's not true, and you still say it. It's still in you, right? Maybe even generationally, it's still in you. It's been wrong for a long time. I mean, if you ask people, like, who discovered America, you're going to get 9 out of 10 people are going to say Christopher Columbus, probably, and the other person will probably say some other guy, right? Vikings, or Amerigo Vespucci or something like that, right? But in reality, right, the reality of it is that there was people here already. Nobody discovered anything. God put people here after the Tower of Babel, and nobody discovered it. There was already people here. And so, you know, well, I mean, so here's the thing, uncool paranoia. I mean, it's not something like a challenge in that way, right? It's like, you sit down and you start talking about flat Earth, right? And like, if I can point out, like, certain things and have somebody be accepting along the way, right? Well, then you got flat Earth. You can prove evolution wrong, right? Then you could show the evil in Hollywood, right? And how it's all geared against the Bible, right? It, like, a lot of that evil stuff can only be found in Revelation, right? And so, like, there's that, right? There's those things to prove, right? I said almost, right? So you get to that where you say, okay, well, is this any of this reasonable to believe, right? Then you see the evil stuff, right? Then you see the inverted gender cult and that kind of thing, right? But see, those are three things that are hard for people to agree with, right? Like I'm gonna get stuck all along the way and get resistance all along the way. It'll be like impossible unless somebody is reasonable to sit there, right? Then at that point, right, you pull out the Bible and say, okay, now you have to picture yourself that you're not on a flying ball. You're in like a little living environment, right, where the sun comes, the moon comes, sun comes, the moon comes. It's all predictable. It's all safe, right? And so it's like you have to, it's a paradigm shift, right? And then you start going through the Bible, right? Like so like what's more reasonable to believe, this or that, this or that? It's one of those things, right? And sure, I would like to maybe, if I put some time into it, if I had the help, I need some help, right? And maybe just some PowerPoint slides, that would be cool. Or even borrow like somebody else's like flat earth presentation and maybe evolution presentation, and then maybe borrow somebody and give them credit, of course, right? And then borrow somebody's um like showing all the like one eye stuff and symbolism, right, for Hollywood and like world leaders, politics, stuff like that, right? Then show like stories about viruses and all that stuff, and then show that there's like a lot of computer programmers involved with that, right? I mean, but so like, yeah, if we can put those things together, and then like after a person sees, right, all these things that would be that would need to be reconciled in order for the Bible to be true, right? Because like if you grew up with the Bible, right, it's hard to it's like you probably couldn't imagine it not being true, right? But like if you didn't, like I did, right, there was a point where I'm like, no, that's impossible. Just some magic person in the sky cannot exist. Like I was on the other side of that, and I know how that feels to believe that that can't be real, but it is real. And so you're not in reality when you're thinking that. And so you have to get that person to at least accept that it could be true first, because what science does, right, this is the thing about science that not a lot of people bring up, that they should bring up, right, is that, yeah, it tries to show you cause and effect relationships, right? Yeah, that's one thing, right? But you also have to add that they can never consider God as a variable ever. So but it is because of God, right? Everything is. So it can never be right. It can be like consistent with other things, the way they behave, but if you can't include God as a variable, when God is a variable in everything, right? Then you're not never in reality. And then you're calling natural things that are just natural in life supernatural, right? Because you have no explanation for them in your your bookends or whatever. And so yeah, I appreciate the shows like what Nathan has, right, where he at least holds people to a stricter science, right? Stricter scientific method, holds them accountable, right? And yeah, that's helpful. That's more helpful. But to exclude God as a variable ever, right, means that you're not in reality, you know? And that's sad. That's sad because they teach that to our kids, right? They teach that to our kids. They put masks on little kids, man. This is getting crazy. Like there are things that are worth dying for, you know. And I'm just saying that. I'm not. But this is reality, right? I mean, let's not be naive about this stuff, you know. And so my goal, right? Because God tells us to separate from the world, just come out of her, right? So yeah, it's not about fighting the power, right? It's about separating ourselves, right? But I think also what that means is, right, and this is what I feel, like I feel a calling to do it is to try to get as many people, right, that are open, right, to the Word of God, right, especially if they find my channel, because obviously it takes, you know, to find this channel is hard. I would like to get them to the point where, they have a conversation with God, and you know, I'm not sure who you're talking about, Deb. I'm not sure. Since we've all heard him, he's patient, respectful, but correcting gently based on the scripture. Yeah, I think I would like to hear, I'd like to hear more from Joel about, at the timeline in Revelation, but we do end up with like people that don't want to hear that. And so like sometimes I debate like is it worth it? It is in a sense, right? But like you would still like even if that were true, right? Which there is some like some things that are compelling. There's some things that aren't to me, but I would say you would still have to be prepared for the thing you have to be the most prepared for, which is that there's a man of sin coming, right? If you're not expecting an antichrist, right? You're expecting Jesus just to come straight, right? Then that opens the door to a deception, just in case, right? And so I would say try to look at as much information as you can on it. That way you can at least, even if you don't believe in it, right? You can at least help somebody that does, like you can see where they're coming from. My issue with it now, right, is that there's not enough stuff from different places, right? And it's always somebody that's like, kind of just cracked a Bible. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I stumbled on this and that, and started looking in the Bible, and I found this and that, and you don't get a lot of like, people that study the Bible for years and years and years say, oh yeah, you know what? This would be, I mean, it'd be nice to get a couple people that were Bible scholars on board with it, and then a lot more material because, when Flat Earth came out, there was so many videos, you could go nonstop with information, but it seems like with that subject, it's hard. There's only a few, only a small selection, but it is intriguing. Some of it is intriguing, and it's always good to think about it. Yeah, and you can always email him, and he's got a channel too. Subscribe to him. And see, like this is what I think would be. Oh, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Don't worry about it. But so this is what I kind of wanted to do, right? Is that um, sometimes I want to like maybe go over like Proverbs. Like I wanted to have a show where I had somebody on here where I could like have somebody like start reading like Proverbs and like we can talk about that kind of stuff and like, oh hey, what's going on, Unbelievable Productions? Oh, that's one of my favorite people. Um, yeah, if you want to come on, that's cool. Right now, we could talk for like probably 15 minutes would be cool. Like I wanted to talk about some show ideas that I wanted to have, and I want to let everybody know, right? I'm trying to like, ask a few of you if you guys want to come on more often, right? And or just on initially, because I want you guys to know that everybody is welcome. It's not just no one's getting singled out where like You know what I mean? Like, I don't want anyone to feel like that they can't come up here. Everybody's welcome to come up here and talk about like their journey or what led you to the truth. Even your testimony would be great. Certain 50-50 issues, right? That you would like to put your your spin on, like what you think things are, right? Get your side heard a little bit better, right? Things that you think could be said a little bit better or corrected, right? Like that's important, right? And I won't like put two people together that will debate. I won't do that. But like, if you're uncomfortable with that, but one at a time or whatever, so that you can speak your whole piece or whatever. I think there's some value in that. I mean, of course, some things are not debatable. I mean, really, I mean, it's hard, right? Because in my mind, I'm pretty sure of what's going on and where we're at, right? I'm pretty sure, right? But like, I understand that, like, because I want to like get people here, right? That just getting someone to even want to listen about God is rare now. So some of our differences, right, are really not that big, right? And so I don't want to leave it open as far as being like on both sides of it, right? But I do want to leave it open to where we can hear both sides so that we can come to the truth. Maybe sometimes you got to find the Easter egg for it to be real, instead of somebody, pointing out, oh, it's over here, or you got to find Waldo on your own. You know what I mean? Like, if someone keeps pointing out Waldo, it's not fun, I guess. And fun is probably not the word for it, because I mean, man, this isn't a game, man. This is all this stuff matters, man. We like we're getting to the point where like uh yeah, man, we're getting to the point, man, where like we're running out of time for um I don't want to say trivial stuff because everything's important. Here, let me welcome Faith to the show. Let me see. Hey, Faith, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Steve?
Hanging in there. I'm like trying to be awake in the morning.
Yeah.
Like why could I be up all night, right? Studying and learning, right? I never had a problem with this before. Now it's like all of a sudden, like, okay, as soon as I go to get on, right? I'm fighting going to sleep.
Yeah. I hear
Being
you.
I'm being
Hey,
attacked.
Cindy, I wanted to apologize. Like, yeah, I think we misunderstood each other, but I think we understand each other now. I just wanted to say it. I'm sorry. That wasn't an attack on you.
Yeah. Like 9 times out of 10, it's always some kind of a communication thing.
Yeah, because you
And
can't like when you're talking to someone face to face or like even here, you
yeah,
get a better understanding. But when it's through text, it's like you don't really you don't get that communication as well.
yeah.
So I just wanted to say it wasn't an attack on you at all, Cindy. I was just saying that, yeah, we understand each other now, I think.
And see what's like this is what's crazy, right? Is it like okay, so with my kids, right? They're very like literal with their typing, right? Like they don't get things like sarcasm very good, or
Hmm.
things that require nuance, right? And I've noticed that like because you have to be kind of there and hear tone inflection and kind of like have like see people's body language. And if you have
Right.
seen that stuff in your life, right, you can apply it to the typing and kind of read their tone, right? Like put it in there, right? But
Right.
sometimes just generationally, right, we write differently, right? And so with my kids, it's one way, and with like saying like my mom, it's another way. And it's not the same language almost, you know?
Right, exactly. Like it applies to knowing their personality. Like if I've talked to this person or if I've hung out with this person and they text me, I'll know through their text exactly what they mean because I know their personality. You
Yeah.
know. But if I've never seen you, never talked to you, never seen you in person or hung out with you, and we text, sometimes the text comes through like, wait, what you talking about? Like, what's that mean?
Right. Right. And I see, I even do that. Like, okay, so like I've been going to this one channel. I think I went there today for like 5 minutes. Like, but like, I used to go to the channel, Arwen every day, right, for Flat Earth, right? I've seen him over on the debates, and then I was like, oh, well, I want to not really hear debates all the time. I just want to hear the information, right? So I
Yeah,
go over there, and even though like I'd been going over there every day for like years, right? I mean, it was just part of my day, to find a live chat. And and still, like when I try to have sarcasm, it doesn't go over well. Even though knowing me, But you're right, like knowing a person, how they talk, right? Like it has a lot to do with it. And it's
right.
like, but even
Like,
but even
sorry.
still, it's like just typing. It's so hard, It's like, and so we should like be more patient with each other, I think, and ask for clarity.
Yeah, I agree. And like if I get into it with someone online, I'll be like, well, wait, I want to hear your standpoint. Like what do you mean?
Yeah,
And I give them a chance to be like, well, I meant this. I didn't mean this. You know what I mean? Just like
yeah,
gives them a
that's true.
second. Yeah, gives them
Yeah,
a second to be like, well, I wasn't saying, like with
yeah,
me and Cindy, she wasn't saying Joel doesn't talk about Bible, and I wasn't saying that. I wasn't bashing her at all. Like I was just
yeah.
saying, well, I have heard him discuss, the Bible. So I think we cleared it up.
I'm glad that this came up because it helps us to like see, like exactly how it all, like how things like this start,
Yeah.
because
And
like,
I think that even applies to scripture. Like sometimes we can read scripture, and if we're, yeah, yes, the Holy Spirit helps you break it down. But if you're reading scripture and you're just reading it just to read it, just for the info or whatever, and you're not necessarily in that spiritual mindset, you can read things wrong. You can
yeah,
definitely like misconstrue it. And
especially
that's
things
why I
out of,
think when we get into
uh,
the word, like when I'm in my car and I'm hearing the audio, sometimes things they they'll go in my ear and I'll be like, "Oh, what does that mean?" I won't know because I'm driving. I have to pay attention to driving. But when I'm
yeah,
actually in my Bible, when I'm reading my Bible and I'm flipping through things, I think I understand things better because I'm using my whole mind. You know what I mean?
well,
Does that make sense?
well, it does. And like, I'll tell you what, like I used to like, before I started like really reading the Bible, right? Like,
Mhm.
I would go through like Bible studies where I'm like, there'll be like 30 verses to look at that prove the thing that I'm trying to learn, and I'm
Yeah.
flipping back and forth. I'm like, and that's valuable, that's super valuable, but there's really nothing better than reading it in context to see like, oh, this is what they mean by that, like three verses before that they were talking about this. And so it's different than I thought it was, just with the hearing just the verse by itself. And see, like a
Yeah,
lot of
like we were
times,
saying the other day, it's a lot easier for me when I'm reading along with them or I'm looking at what they're looking at. It's
yeah,
easier for me to follow what they're saying or what
great
they're
point.
speaking about.
That's a great point. That's when I learn the best, is when I'm reading along with it.
Yeah,
But
me too.
sometimes, see, like this is so like it's not that I even want to get through it faster, right? But like I've been like putting it on 1.5 or whatever, and like really going fast. And I don't know if that's probably the best thing to do. Like
Maybe
I'm
not.
like, okay, I want to like jam all this stuff in my brain, because like this is what my flaw is, right? Is I read the Bible every day or listen to it at least. I mean, a couple hours, right? Just to like, sometimes I'll just knock out a book or whatever. But like, um, what what I do is like I'll crave more information, and then I'll want to go to some other source, like I want to know, I want someone to break it down better, or I want to know the deeper meaning or something new, or
Yeah.
but really I got to just keep going back in the Bible and taking my time and learning from just
Yeah.
reading it,
So you get all like hyped up because you want to know, you want to know, you want to know, you know, you
Yeah.
want, yeah. And then, but sometimes you don't realize, wait, yo, you got to take it a little slower. Like it's, you
Yeah,
know,
patience. Sometimes things don't make sense to me until I'm in a situation where it'll pop up in my head and I'll
like
go,
with this,
"Oh."
this subject that I really want to discuss with Joel. I want to know, like, like my head is like, I want to know, I want to know right
Right. No,
now.
hey,
I
I'll
don't want
tell
to
you
wait
what.
for him to email me. I want to know right now.
So,
And
and
it's like,
I'll
no,
tell you
wait,
this.
like
I'll tell
you
you
gotta
this.
chill. You gotta have patience.
Right, right. Well, see, a lot of people won't even consider it, like to consider that it's true. But
Oh yeah.
I saw one of the
Yeah.
videos that he sent me,
Someone
and
commented on my, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That was really rude.
well, no, it's okay. But it was like really, even it was interesting. It was more compelling than I thought it would be, almost like flat Earth all over again, right? And
Wow.
so that's why I wish, right? Like, okay, I would be more open to accept it if there was more people doing it, more different people with different, like a flat Earth kind of had like people like Bible
Joel, I don't know
scholars
if
and
I
stuff.
know enough. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm prepared.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: you get deceived by not considering things, right? By
That's
digging
true.
in and not considering, right? So it's the opposite. It's this inverted world, right? So if you
Yeah.
consider everything, the truth will stand up for itself.
Like someone commented on my did the rapture happen already happen video, and they just were like flat out, it didn't happen yet. And I was like, well, wait, what? Like the topic is, did it happen or did it not? Like, let's discuss it. Nope, 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 not discussing anything. Nope.
Yeah.
I'm subbing. I'm like, oh my goodness, like
Well, that's you get
you
used
don't
to
even
that
have
because
an
that's
open heart to discuss it. Like we
yeah.
can't
Well,
just sit and
that's
discuss it.
nine. That's 90% of the world. That's they like. Okay, like
I'm
I've
like,
had my
what if it did happen? Then you,
right.
know what
I
I mean?
know, I know. That's how we think because we question things, right? Like,
Yeah.
but so I've even had my own mother, right, who's known me my whole life, knows that I don't lie. I like I'm spiritually lined up, right? I would, I would know what I'm talking about before I talk about things, right? I don't talk about cars because I don't know about cars, right?
Yeah.
But so I talk about what I know about, right? And so she
Mhm.
knows this, right? This is my mother, right? And I was talking to her about flat Earth. I'm like, look, I know what I'm talking about. This isn't something I believe; it's something I know,
Yeah.
right? And so she said, this is what she said to me. She goes, "Well, I'm gonna believe it's a sphere because that's what I learned in school."
Mm.
And some people are just dug in, right? Even though,
So that
like, right, they'll not take the information from somebody that loves them, that knows better, right? That spent the time to really study it, right? And go back to what they were taught because it's just that way. Like the
yeah,
brainwashing is just that strong, you know. And it
yeah,
says in
it's
Proverbs, right?
so strong.
Teach a child when they're young and they won't part from it, right? It
Yep.
says in
Mhm.
Proverbs, right? So like, thank God that, like, that she loves Jesus, right? That, like, she's a believer, but I try to keep pushing her, like, hey, look, I get what you're saying, right? And I'm glad that you have that part settled, right? But there should be a desire in you for that should want the truth and be hungry for it. And I'm wondering if everybody is supposed to be like that.
Hey, Sasquatch. Sorry, hubby wanted me to get off the phone.
Oh, okay. Oh, you gotta go.
No, no, no. That was last night. He wanted me to get off the
Um,
phone. Yeah, he wanted me to spend some time with him, so I had to go, Sasquatch.
oh yeah, yeah. That is important. Well,
Yeah.
well, sometimes people stream for a long time, and I'm like, oh wow, that's good that they stream because it gives me a place to go and listen or whatever. But sometimes it's long, it gets long.
Yeah, yeah, that was last night. He was like, "Yo, I want to like hang out with you, like talk to me, don't talk to him." So I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay, sorry." I
I
didn't want to get
totally
in
get
trouble.
that. No, hey, I get that. That's absolutely
Yeah,
absolutely
no,
good.
this morning. He just left for work this morning. Hey, Cindy, I agree. Like, if you think you know all the answers, you'll never find the truth. And so that's why
Yeah.
I try to keep my mind open to listening to what everyone has to say, because I don't have all the knowledge. I really don't. I'd like
Yeah.
to know more.
Right. And see, like that's okay. So now I'm happy with what I know only because I'm gonna open up the Bible today, right? Like if
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna open the Bible today, I would be very scared with what I know in my head right now. You know, I would be very scared that the end is coming and I don't know enough, right? And so
Yeah.
it's what gives me that peace, right, inside is knowing, okay, I am gonna learn more today, right? And I'm
Mhm.
gonna commit that time to it. And really it's what I want to do anyway, right? I want to know more about what's gonna happen, right? I want to
Yeah.
know more about like how things are lining up. And it's like things are lining up in ways that I never thought it would be line up that way, but it's weird how it's coming true, but not the way I thought it was, you know?
It's crazy because, like, when you think about it, like, you think it's going to happen a certain way, and then it happens a different way
Yeah.
than what you thought. But then you go into the words like, wait, this is how it was
I,
supposed to happen.
well, like now I can kind of like see the mark of the beast kind of forming, right? I could see it how it could happen now, right? Where
Yeah.
before I'm like, what are they gonna do? Just line everyone up and give them a chip to buy stuff, right? But it
Like,
has
see,
to be something. It has to be
I swear
something
I
the
thought it
whole
would be like a,
world can get, you know?
yeah, I thought it would be like a tattoo or something. But now I'm
And
seeing
and
all
it
this
still could
microchip
be.
stuff.
But it still could be, right? Like
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
of this this virus and well, okay, I gotta be careful what I say now. And this vacation that they want us to get, right, is
Right.
is that everybody in the world can get it, right? Everybody
Yeah.
worldwide will get it, right? That's a big criteria of it, not just people that can afford it or people that would need to do that for purchases, right? But it has to be something everybody is going to get, rich and poor, free and bond, right? And
Right.
so this shot, right? You know, you wonder, right, because they're starting to buy all these black lights and stuff like that go
Yeah.
into like for street lights. If like the mark is already, you know, like I wouldn't say like these people are taking the mark, but that the technology is there where they can you know give you some medicine, right, and then have something glow right in you, right. Well, what's to say that the next thing isn't gonna be a number or a name or whatever, you know? Like I think it's a
Right.
very
Like,
close. I think it's the next thing to get, you know, and it will be a mark in the skin. I think, you know.
isn't there something called luciferase?
Yeah, there is. It's
Like,
like
yo, if that doesn't wake you up to something,
I know, I know,
you're
I
like,
know.
what? What?
Well, it's weird that they're just overt about this stuff. It's not like not like they're hiding it, right?
Right. It's not like they're
And
like hiding behind a curtain. It's just like, bam, look it. We're here.
yeah, yeah. And what like it's weird because like you know the devil's got to know that he's beat, right? But he's still got to be himself, right? Like he's still got to
Mhm.
be arrogant and like conceited and like still, you know, even though he knows, right? He's still got to be what he is, right? And
Right.
that's a scary thought, you know, because like we got like you know, like if you look up um, the congressional bill, the H.R.W.O. you know 060606, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like wow, man, like you got legislation that's like you know like I mean,
Yeah.
why out of all the numbers you could pick, right? Why would you do that? You know, it's
Hey,
pretty
thanks, cool
hairy out
dude.
there.
Thanks, cool dude. He said, I made a new channel and sub to you, Faith, Joel, and AJM so far.
Yeah, that's you know who that is. That's Truth Hurts.
Yeah, I know that's Truth Hurts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He'll always be Truth Hurts to me. So,
To me too,
but
you know. I guess
I like
I
the
guess
name.
people picked on it or whatever, you know. Some goofy people got to be immature about it, you know.
Yeah,
And
some
so he
butthurt
changed
losers.
it. That shadows of light thing, I don't know, man. I don't know. I was tepid on that one, but I like this one here. This cool dude.
Yeah,
Who
I like
doesn't
the
like
name.
who doesn't like a cool dude, you know?
Doesn't like a cool dude.
Yeah,
He's
that's
just Pat
crazy.
now.
I wish that I was like good enough at this to hold an audience for longer than an hour, you know? Like to go a couple hours, like have a show, and like I'm better with another person. I can go like probably 15 minutes more and be semi interesting, right? But like, you know, I'd like to be able to hold an audience to where when I end the stream, people will still want more. Like they want to, you know, they want the show to go longer because then it
Yeah.
makes you want to tune in tomorrow. You know.
I think you do a great job.
I'm
I
trying
always
to.
sit on here and
Thank
I'm
you.
like, oh man, it's over.
Well, thank you for saying that. I mean, I try to be better every day anyway, but thank you for saying that to me. That feels good. And like I always keep thinking that like, because like I started this channel with my friend Tom, and I always keep thinking that he'll come on more, but it just hasn't worked out that way. And I know that he's got a job and everything, and I know
Yeah.
God is putting everything in place right now exactly for, you know, for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate the help that you give me, and Sasquatch and Joel, and you know, I I think that it's like good. I think I want to have like more like regular people, you know, like you know, like a regular kind of rotation or something like that.
Mhm.
But I know it's a big responsibility to put on somebody. I don't want to pressure nobody into doing it, and I don't want people to think that if they can't do it, that they can't just come here and chill and watch and just, you know, just say they don't want to do it, and that's fine with me. I'd rather, you
Yeah.
know, that it's nothing off of me to like look. I've had to like
I
have a
think most
schedule like
here
get.
are understanding about that though. I think
Yeah,
most are.
yeah. And I don't want to pressure anybody. And like when I come and like say like hi or that someone is missed, you know, I just think that
Mhm.
that's nice to hear that, you know, your presence was missed when you're not around.
Yeah.
Not pressure that you have to come
Not like,
to
oh,
the
why
to
weren't you here?
right.
Right.
It's more of like, you know, like you, even though you don't think so, or maybe you don't think of it, but your energy, it like brings something to the channel, you know, like,
Right.
and so I at least recognize that I missed it, you know, and so hey,
Yeah.
I missed you there or whatever, and I think that that's important, you know, and
Like
so
maybe if you're new, then you don't really
yeah, you
uh
probably don't want to hear that.
don't understand or whatever.
Yeah,
But I think most that have been here or are here,
yeah,
they understand that it's just like, hey, we missed you. Like we're not
and
that
see
you're
like.
obligated. We just missed
And
you.
and see like what I envisioned, right, is that like what I'm hoping is that like we'll all kind of like subscribe to each other, right? And I know every channel is
Yeah.
not for everybody, right? But like kind of like follow each other around a little bit, you know, to where like if you're somewhere else, there's someone there that you know that like, you know, will have your back, you know, like you know, kind of like maybe like when this stream ends, another stream will start or whatever, you know, or however that is, you know.
Right. And like I see it as like I sub to you guys because I support you. Like
Yeah.
like say show me Sasquatch. Like sometimes he'll just
Hmm.
have streams of him walking around in the woods and I can't sit there and watch it because I'm driving or something. So
Yeah.
I'll close it. But like
Yeah.
then he'll have streams like he had last night just talking and it was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what like you said,
They've been
every
good
channel's not
lately.
for everyone, but I sub because I support y'all. I love y'all.
Yeah. I like watching all everybody's work. Everybody has like a
And
different style.
I do like the walks in the woods. Trust me, I do.
Yeah.
It's cool. I love nature.
Yeah. It's weird how we just don't get out anymore, you know?
I
Like
know.
I don't think a human being was ever meant to live the way we're living, you know? And it's weird because I can't imagine living a different way now, you know? And it's like I know that when I was a kid, right? Because I kind of have like half my life without the, you know, all the computers and, you
Thank you,
know, cell
Sasquatch.
phones and all that. You know what I mean? It's like playing tag and throwing a stick and, you know, like playing
Yeah,
football and all this stuff, right? That was fun, right? But then when it became all about computers, now it's like you can't live without it, you know?
right.
And it's weird. It's a big shift, you know, and all the people born after us, right, are just proficient in this stuff just naturally, you know.
Right.
And we're going
Right.
that way to where I think, you know,
Yeah, like we moved by
I
the
hope
lake. We
Well,
live
I'm
by the
hoping.
lake, and I'm always trying to get my son off the game. Like it's like, come on, let's go. We're going for a walk. We're
Yeah,
gonna go check out the ducks. Come on.
yeah.
But it's
What my
I always
kids
feel
too,
like
man.
I
Yep.
always feel like I have to pull like yank him off of there or like disconnect the internet.
Yeah.
You know? And
No,
it's
and
like
that's the way it
it gets
is, you know.
harder.
Well, what scares me, right, is my youngest son showed me a game that he was playing, right? This was like he was probably 16 at the time,
Mhm.
and a couple of years ago, and so he showed me this game, and it's like a character that goes to hell that goes and gets his
Oh,
friends out of there and brings them back to Earth or something. And
oof.
there's all kinds of like Baphomet symbolism and
Mhm.
pentagram, like
Pentagram.
real devil
Mhm.
symbolism, real stuff, right? In a game, right? And I'm trying to explain to him, I'm like, people put that there, like to you it may be nothing and you're not noticing it, right? But there's people
Right,
that put that there for a reason,
right.
to get in your brain, and
Subconscious.
right. And I'm like, son, do you think people sit around a burning star for no reason, just to do
Like
it?
I'll sit here, like my son will be playing Fortnite and I
Hmm.
will sit there and watch him play it and I will point out every single symbol that I see and I say, just look at it. See it, because if you see it with your eyes, it has
Yeah,
no power against you. And
yeah.
he sees it. Like he'll be like, Mom, there's a
It'd be
666.
more aware
Mom,
of it.
there's a triangle. Mom, there's a star.
Oh, that's
I'm like,
good actually.
yo,
If
you're
you're
seeing
pointing
it.
it out like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I
That's
swear to God,
good if you can recognize it.
if you see it with your eyes and you're in that state, there's no power. They have no power. Their
Yeah.
sorceries don't work.
Well, as long as you're like interactive with it, right? You're asking yourself questions. Is that real? Is this happening? Right? Is that possible? Like if you're asking yourself questions during the thing, right? And being interactive with whatever you're watching, right? It's better,
Yeah.
right? And it's also better if like you don't get a lot of like changing camera angles and stuff and spinning graphics,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, it's tough, right? But like
Oh,
a video game, if you're interactive with it's a lot better than being in an alpha state where you're
yeah.
just taking in information and not questioning it.
See, and I'll do that with my husband too, like, because he'll get off work and he'll be like, hey, do you want to watch some Marvel with me? And I'll be like, all right, even though I hate it. I hate
Right.
it. And
I
so
almost think
he'll
that like
he'll
those
sit here.
movies.
He will sit here in such a like, I'm just so tired, just want to sit here and veg. And I'll be like, look at that. That's a pentagram. Look at that. That's devil worship. And I'll point it all out, and he'll be like, how are you seeing this? I'm like,
See,
open
I'm
your mouth.
wondering if these Marvel movies, right? I'm more than wondering by now, right?
Oh,
But
there's
like,
so much in them.
are they just about the devil, the Antichrist? I mean, are these like
Yeah,
movies about like this man that's gonna get powers, right, is gonna be like a god? Are these
yeah.
gods, these superheroes, like
What they're
I think.
showing, yeah. See what I believe they're showing, all like Wonder Woman, um, Iron Man. Iron Man. Come on, that's easy right there. That's transhumanism, straight up in your
Yeah,
face.
yeah. And they
But
got what they
they're
got
showing fallen angels. That's
and
what
they
they're
got
showing.
like they got guys like Elon Musk, right, that are like kind of taking after these characters, right? This guy is like a business CEO with a space program, right? Like
Yeah,
that's all of it is an act, obviously, right? And
yeah.
you're like, why is real life mimicking these Marvel movies? Like if he had
Mhm.
a suit made of armor, right? People would, I mean, people already kind of worship this dude, right? Like imagine if a dude like that, like I can just see these comic storylines. Now I don't watch the movies, right? So I don't really know exactly what the storylines are, but I mean, from what I get from it, from people breaking it down, is that it's like
Mhm.
similar to like these different stories of gods taking over the world,
Yeah,
or
much that is what it's about. It's about transhumanism. That is what they want to enter a different way.
this is crazy, man.
It's mixing the iron with the watery clay. That is
I
what it is.
think I
Transhumanism.
think I think the elite people want to become like heroes like that, or like superheroes, and they want us regular people to just like be plugged into the computer
Right.
and be like, like almost like the Matrix, just withering away, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What happened? Was
Oh, I just got
a text message? It buzzed
yeah,
in my ear.
yeah, Uncooled messaged me on Discord.
No, that's cool. That's super cool.
Yeah, but that
My,
is I believe that is the final I don't know. I don't want to call it solution because I don't want to sound like little Billy Gates. But
love you, Sasquatch. See you later, buddy.
bye,
Or what?
Sasquatch. But
Well, that's
that
okay.
is that's what it's leading to. It's you know, the Bible says that someone that enters the what is it through entering through another way, you're a robber, you're a thief.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what they're trying to do. They're trying to enter eternity through another way without Jesus Christ. And sorry,
Yeah.
but your end goal will not be achieved. It won't happen. But that's what they're trying to do. They believe they can do it. And they're
Yeah.
thieves and liars.
Well, what scares me is things like CERN, right? Like you try to put
Oh,
that together, right? Like now, there's a lot about like atomic particle theory and stuff like that that I
mhm.
don't really believe. So now I'm not as like worried about it. But like, if you think about it in theory, right, you're ramming particles into each other, right, and it just destroys both both things, right? And
Yeah.
so could you imagine someone trying to uncreate creation just to avoid hell? Like
Right. And see, that's the
that's
thing is
nuts, right?
Satan wants to put himself in the
Mm,
temple of God. Well, what is the temple
mhm.
of God? We're the temple of
Yeah,
God.
that's right.
So when you think of transhumanism, that is completely satanic because
Yeah,
that's Satan trying to put himself in,
inside you.
trying to set himself up in the temple of God. But we are the temple. The temple is the flesh. We are the temple of God. So when I
Mm.
see transhumanism, I look at it as like, no, that's Satan trying to put himself in the seat. He's trying to elevate himself as
Well,
if he's God.
so, like even if you don't believe, like even if you haven't reached the truth, right, and believe in God yet, and have salvation, right, even if you're just an atheist out there, right,
Mhm.
you should not want them to put any kind of financial chip in you,
Right.
because what it allows them to do, right, is to turn you off whenever they want, right?
Yep.
If the money is outside of you, right, you can always get to it, and use money in different ways, right? Even if they shut you out of the store, you can buy from somewhere else, right? But
I
if
know
they
a few.
shut you off, it's over. It's
Yeah,
over,
I know a few atheists, and even they are like that. No,
and
no, I don't
they
want anyone
should.
having that kind of control over me.
Yeah, they
And I'm
should
like,
be
right?
cracking their Bibles right now with everything crazy going on right now. Like you would think that even the
Well,
most staunch atheist would be like, let me crack that Bible now that I'm looking at like there's pictures of like what's that guy's name? Richard Dawkins he's an occultist. He's not an
yep,
atheist, right?
yeah,
Like
right.
he's a Satanist, right? So like if you're seeing people that have written books about being an atheist that are like occult members, right? Like you would
But
think, right?
that's what they do is they take a so-called atheist, and then if you look into their background, they're completely an occultist or a Satanist. And
Yeah,
then actual atheists that I know in real life, they're not that at all. They're not, you know,
right. They're atheists,
they just don't believe in a higher power.
right?
They're not involved in the occult. They don't do any freaking rituals and crap like
Right.
that. So the atheists that we hear about and know about are basically pooping on them.
Yeah.
The ones,
Well, not only that, but they're deceived. They
yes. Oh,
believed in these people, and these people are deceiving them. And I
yes,
try to
very
tell
much.
some people, I'm like, look, I don't know why you guys are defending Ball Earth and this evolution so much when it's not true. And really, in real life, yes, what's his Neil deGrasse doesn't like me, but at least he has to respect me as an enemy, right? Like he's laughing at you guys, like
Well,
you
to
know what
him,
I mean? Like
it's pear shaped. Did you guys know that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you
I
everything's
know. When I heard him
ridiculous,
say that, I was like, "What the hell? What the hell's wrong with you?"
I mean, me and Tom had a running joke,
Oh,
like we're like,
science.
me and Tom had a running joke where like every time I had a question that was like unanswerable, he's like, "Oh yeah, gravity, man." You know, just like
Gravity.
they're always saying something ridiculous. You know, that like, "Oh, now it's this way." Okay, well, you
It's
weren't
so
saying that
dumb too.
before.
And they go back on what they say all the time. It's like, how do you guys not see this? They're like, they'll say
Yeah,
something and then they'll go back, like, Dr. Fauci. No, you shouldn't be wearing masks. And then he goes back and says, "Oh yeah, everyone should wear too." It's
right.
like you guys
Yeah.
are following this idiot. Like, what's wrong with you? Wake
Well,
up.
I think it's even by design that they do that. You know, just
I think so too.
conflicting stuff. You know, it breaks you down mentally. You know, it breaks you down mentally because your mind is always
No,
trying to reconcile something. You know.
someone, who was it? I can't remember who it was. I wish I could shout them out. I can't remember. But Fauci means sickle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
As in like hammer and sickle, like the communist China.
Did you look that up? Did you look
I,
that up?
yeah, I looked it up and it really does. It means sickle.
So he's trying to harvest the wheat and the
Yep.
tares. Oh
As
my
soon as,
God.
oh man, I wish I could remember their name. I can't. I'm so sorry, whoever you were. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? And I looked it up
Yeah,
and sure enough, it means sickle. I was like,
that's
whoa.
that's so crazy.
Yeah. Like I
All
thought
right,
it meant
I'm gonna.
fake, like faux, like fake.
Right, right, yeah,
Yeah. So I was like, Dr. Fake. But
yeah.
then she said this and I was like, wait, what? And I looked it up and I went, yep, that's what it
Oh,
means.
was it really graceful? Was it? Sometimes she'll
No,
come out with some decent stuff.
it
I
wasn't
haven't
great.
seen.
It wasn't Grace, but she has great stuff. Y'all go
Yeah,
sub really graceful. She has some amazing stuff. Great. She
mm,
does great work.
yeah,
I love her. She's a good sister.
she's good.
But
All right,
yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead.
I
I'm
don't think
gonna go ahead and let's round out. I
okay.
think, and then I think we'll do a show tomorrow. What I wanted to talk to you about is just real quick is like I want to do shows where like we could like maybe read into Proverbs and just start like talking about that, like just
Okay.
our behavior, like how we're supposed to be when new people come and see us, right? Like what's our best foot forward, you know, for
Right.
these last few people remaining people out there, you know that yeah, I'm thinking that the pickings are slim, and I'm thinking that the time is running out, right? And
Yeah.
I'm feeling an urgency to reach people so badly, you know. And
Me too.
so
I
I've
have
been
felt that very strongly, Steve.
and I've been hanging out. I've been hanging out in some hairy places, man, that are not of God, right? To
Yeah. Like
kind of be,
I'll go on
yeah,
other chats. And this is what my husband doesn't understand. I try to explain to him, like, the reason why he's like, that chat doesn't sound very Christian to me. I'm like, well, the reason why I'm on it
there's
is
lost
because,
people there, you
yeah,
know.
there's people there that don't even know anything about God. And if I jump on there, I'll be like, hey, y'all, let's talk about this for a second. If they shoot me off, fine, that's fine. But maybe one person's ears will perk up and
Yeah.
they'll start looking into it.
Or they'll
And yeah,
subscribe to you or watch one of your
yeah,
videos, you know.
I'll shout you out too, and
Hmm.
like maybe you'll get some people. I don't know, but and that's
Yeah.
something I'm trying to explain to my husband. Like, no, I'm not on there for them talking about girls with big booties or big tits. No, I'm on there to be like, hey guys, y'all ever heard about this God thing?
Right, right. That's crazy.
Like that's what I was
All
talking to my
right.
husband about. But yeah, I know you guys. Thank you for having me, Steve. I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, it's always great to have you on. Thank you for coming on. All right, guys, I want to say goodbye and God bless you and most of all, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. And I just want to say that I love you guys and maybe I'll
Amen.
like if you guys want to come on like anybody that wants to come on just like leave a message on my community page, and let me know what's going on and I'd love to have people on, anybody, and I think that would be great, even if it's just your testimony, and so where do I think I'm going? Anyway, guys, so anyway, I love you guys, praise God, all glory to Jesus, and
Amen.
you know yeah, and pray for the kids.
Yes. Love you
All right,
guys.
guys, see you later.